1990, Depeche Mode were already one of the most influential names in electronic music. But then they released Enjoy the Silence, a track that would become one of their most enduring and iconic hits. Though it seems so polished and effortless now, the song's journey from demo to anthem was anything but straightforward. The track started as a ballad, a slow and minimal demo written by Martin Gore. As he explained in MTV's 120 Minutes, it's just about a feeling of not wanting anything else, feeling totally satisfied, and even the words and everything seem an intrusion. You don't need anything else, you're totally happy. It's a nice song. It's nice, that's a way to put it. Gore's original version was quiet and introspective, and when he brought it to the studio, it was almost unrecognisable from the version fans would come to know. When I finished the demo of this song, it was more of a ballad, and sounded a bit like the harmonium version that came out on one of the formats, he told Bong magazine in 1998. It was producer Flood and bandmate Alan Wilder who pushed for a more upbeat direction. Gore was strongly opposed at first, recalling in the same interview, Alan had this idea to speed it up and make it a bit more disco, which I was really averse to at first, because I thought, the song is called Enjoy the Silence, and it's supposed to be about serenity, and serenity doesn't go with the disco beat. So I was sulking for about 2 days, but after he speeded up, I got used to it and added the guitar part, which adds to the whole atmosphere. Dave Gonn also remembered the early days of the song's transformation. Speaking in an interview, he recalled, "Originally, the demo for Enjoy the Silence was just me singing along to a basic pad. And it was really Alan and Flood who suggested that we speed it up and put a beat to it. And I was dead against it. I remember, because I thought it went completely against the aesthetic of the words and the meaning behind the song. So, I sulked off for a little bit." Alan Wilder, speaking on his official site, Shunt, explained why he saw a different future for the track from the start. Strangely, the thing that immediately came to mind was that I could hear Neil Tennant singing it in my head. Something about the line "all I ever wanted" sounded very Pet Shop Boys to me. He continued, "I felt that to have taken the simple ballad approach for this song would have been to criminally pass on its massive commercial potential. It was a great tune crying out for the kind of treatment it eventually got." As Flood and Wilder worked on the track, things began to shift. Flood and I worked on the backing track before calling Martin in to play the guitar riff. As the track came together, I think it dawned on everyone, even Martin, who had been the most reluctant about taking the up-tempo route, that we had a hit on our hands, Wilder said. Producer and Mute Records founder Daniel Miller also vividly remembered his reaction when he first heard the reworked track. In Electronic Beats 2013, he said, "I remember coming to visit them in the studio and Fletch and Martin being very excited, saying, 'Dan, we've got to play you this track.' We went to one of the little rooms to the side of the studio. They played me Enjoy the Silence, which was half finished, and I just went, 'This is going to be huge.' It was just a perfect song, absolutely great." As recording continued, the band began to realise what they had. Andrew Fletcher later recalled in the press kit EPK Mutel 5 from the short film Depeche Mode the Singles 86 to 98. "It's the first time ever in our whole career that we've actually thought we've got a hit single. We just knew straight away." Gonn agreed, describing the studio buzz during production. "I remember Martin sitting there and playing it, and he came up with this riff, and then I sang the song and everyone was surprised that I sang it so well, including myself. And then we spent like a week trying to make it into something. Oh wow, I think this could be a single. And what about if we do this and do that, and maybe we'll have to redo the drum pattern, and Mart, you could play the guitar a bit better. And in the end, of course, we come right round like full circle. And it's just like, well, it sounded really good the first day we recorded it." Even the iconic video carried the theme of silent reflection. Speaking to MTV's 120 Minutes, Gonn explained, and that's why, if you notice, in the video, you'll see that I only sing one line in the whole thing every now and then repeatedly. Words are very unnecessary because you've got all these beautiful scenes, beautiful photography everywhere, and you look at this fantastic photography, so words are unnecessary. And I'm a king, obviously, I'm supposed to have everything. But just as the band agreed on the track's direction, another debate emerged: the final mix. Francois Kevorkian had mixed most of the Violator album, but Miller wasn't satisfied with Enjoy the Silence. In Electronic Beats 2013, he admitted, "The only thing about Kevorkian's mixing was that, while the record was great, I wasn't happy with Enjoy the Silence as it was. I had real demo-itis about it. I'd heard this rough version which they'd done, and in my head that's how it had to sound. So I said, look, I love the album, but I'm not feeling the way Enjoy the Silence is at the moment. Can I go off and mix it with somebody else just to try it?" Miller ended up mixing the version used for the single with engineer Phil Legg. Wilder later commented in Shunt, "Personally, I don't think there's much wrong with our mix of Enjoy the Silence. The guitar sounds fine and the overall sound has a bit more sparkle. Daniel had a bee in his bonnet about the mix and felt very strongly that he could do better. We let him have a go, and after 2 or 3 attempts decided that his mix was acceptable for the 7-inch version." With his typical dry wit, he added, "Funnily enough, our most successful single ever was one of the flattest, dullest sounding mixes with a snare drum that sounds like a sticky toffee pudding." Despite internal disagreements, Enjoy the Silence became a massive success. It won the Brit Award for Single of the Year, voted by UK's BBC Radio 1 listeners, an unusual honour for a band that was more often praised abroad than at home. Still, Depeche Mode didn't attend the award ceremony. "We were all pretty like-minded about avoiding industry-based award ceremonies," Wilder wrote on Shunt. "Best left to Sting and Elton." What began as a quiet ballad turned into an international anthem, showing how friction, compromise and experimentation can lead to something far greater than what was originally envisioned. Enjoy the Silence is more than a song. It's a moment of clarity in a noisy world.